Failure. It's a word that can send shivers down our spines. Just hearing it can make our hearts race and our palms sweat. But why does this simple word hold so much power over us? It's a word that can send shivers down our spines. We avoid it like the plague, associating it with shame and disappointment. The fear of failure can be paralyzing, stopping us from taking risks and trying new things. We avoid it like the plague. We associate it with shame and disappointment. But what if we're looking at failure all wrong? What if failure isn't the end, but just a stepping stone on the path to success? We associate it with shame and disappointment. We think that failing means we're not good enough, that we've let ourselves and others down. But the truth is, failure is a natural part of life. It's impossible to grow and learn without stumbling a few times. But what if we're looking at failure all wrong? The truth is, failure is a natural part of life. It's impossible to grow and learn without stumbling a few times. In fact, some of the most successful people in the world have failed more times than you can count. The truth is, failure is a natural part of life. It's impossible to grow and learn without stumbling a few times. In fact, some of the most successful people in the world have failed more times than you can count. They didn't let their failures define them. Instead, they used them as opportunities to learn and grow. It's impossible to grow and learn without stumbling a few times. In fact, some of the most successful people in the world have failed more times than you can count. They didn't let their failures define them. Instead, they used them as opportunities to learn and grow. So why are we so afraid of it? Because we're human. In fact, some of the most successful people in the world have failed more times than you can count. So why are we so afraid of it? Because we're human. We crave validation and success. We don't want to feel like we've let ourselves or others down. So why are we so afraid of it? Because we're human. We crave validation and success. We don't want to feel like we've let ourselves or others down. But what if we could shift our perspective on failure? What if we could see it not as an end, but as a beginning? We crave validation and success. We don't want to feel like we've let ourselves or others down. But what if we could shift our perspective on failure? What if we could see it not as an end, but as a beginning? What if we could embrace failure as a necessary part of the journey to success? We don't want to feel like we've let ourselves or others down. But what if we could shift our perspective on failure? What if we could see it not as an end, but as a beginning? What if we could embrace failure as a necessary part of the journey to success? By changing the way we think about failure, we can change the way we approach challenges and obstacles. But what if we could shift our perspective on failure? What if we could see it not as an end, but as a beginning? What if we could embrace failure as a necessary part of the journey to success? By changing the way we think about failure, we can change the way we approach challenges and obstacles. We can become more resilient, more determined, and more willing to take risks. What if we could see it not as an end, but as a beginning? By changing the way we think about failure, we can change the way we approach challenges and obstacles. We can become more resilient, more determined, and more willing to take risks. So the next time you face failure, remember, it's not the end. It's just the beginning of something new. Think about TikTok for a second. It's a platform that has taken the world by storm, captivating millions with its short, engaging videos. It's a place where creativity knows no bounds. People are encouraged to try new things, to experiment with different ideas, and yes, to fail spectacularly. But that's the beauty of it. Some of the most popular videos on TikTok are the ones where something goes hilariously wrong. These moments of failure are not just funny, they are incredibly relatable. They remind us that everyone makes mistakes, and that's perfectly okay. These videos show us that it's okay to not be perfect. In fact, it's our imperfections that make us human. They make us real and relatable. When we see someone else mess up and laugh it off, it gives us the courage to do the same. Our imperfections are often what make us interesting and unique. They set us apart from the crowd and give us our own special flavor. TikTok celebrates this diversity and encourages us to embrace our quirks and flaws. TikTok teaches us that vulnerability is not a weakness, but a strength. When people open up about their struggles and share their personal stories, it creates a sense of community and connection. It shows us that we are not alone in our experiences. It also teaches us that it's okay to laugh at ourselves. Humor is a powerful tool for coping with failure and setbacks. When we can laugh at our own mistakes, it takes away their power to hurt us. And most importantly, TikTok teaches us that even when we fall flat on our faces, we can always get back up and try again. Failure is not the end. It's just a stepping stone on the path to success. So embrace the flop, learn from it, and keep moving forward. We've all seen those hilarious movie blooper reels. You know, the ones where actors flub their lines, trip over furniture, and just can't seem to get it together? They're often the best part of the entire movie. Why do we find them so funny? Because they remind us that even the most talented and successful people make mistakes. They're not perfect, and that's okay. In fact, it's what makes them human. These bloopers teach us that it's okay to not take ourselves too seriously. They teach us that laughter can be the best medicine. And they remind us that even when we mess up, we can still find joy in the journey. Let's talk about J.K. Rowling, the brilliant mind behind the Harry Potter series. Before she became a global phenomenon, Rowling faced rejection after rejection. In fact, her first Harry Potter book was rejected by 12 different publishers. Can you imagine if she had given up after the first rejection, or the 5th, or even the 11th? Thank goodness she didn't. Rowling's story is a powerful reminder that perseverance pays off. It's a testament to the power of believing in yourself even when no one else does. It's about having the courage to keep going, even when the going gets tough. Section 5, Oprah's aha moment, turning rejection into revolution. Oprah Winfrey, media mogul, philanthropist, inspiration to millions. But her journey to the top wasn't without its bumps. Early in her career, she was fired from her job as a television reporter. They told her she wasn't fit for television. Imagine hearing that, being told you're not good enough. But Oprah didn't let that rejection define her. Instead, she used it as fuel. She channeled her pain into passion, and the rest, as they say, is history. Oprah's story teaches us that rejection isn't always personal. Sometimes it's simply a redirection. It's about having the strength to pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and keep moving forward. Section 6. The Beatles Beatdown. From rejections to global icons. The Beatles. Need we say more? This legendary band, known for their groundbreaking music and cultural impact, had a journey that was anything but smooth. Their story is a testament to resilience, creativity, and the power of believing in oneself. One of the most influential bands of all time, they weren't always met with open arms. In the early days, they faced numerous challenges and setbacks. They played in small clubs in Liverpool and Hamburg, honing their craft and building their unique sound. In fact, they were initially rejected by Decca Records, who told them, "Guitar groups are on their way out." This rejection could have been a devastating blow, but instead, it fueled their determination. They continued to push forward, undeterred by the naysayers. Oh, how wrong they were. The Beatles' perseverance paid off when they signed with EMI's Parlophone label, under the guidance of producer George Martin. This partnership would go on to create some of the most iconic music in history. The Beatles didn't let this rejection discourage them. They kept playing, kept writing, and kept experimenting with new sounds and ideas. Their innovative approach to music set them apart from other bands of the time. They kept believing in their music. Their dedication to their craft and their willingness to take risks led to groundbreaking albums like Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band and The White Album. And eventually, the world caught on. The Beatles became a global phenomenon, with fans all over the world. Their concerts were filled with screaming fans, and their music topped charts internationally. Their story teaches us to trust our gut. It reminds us that even when faced with rejection and doubt, we must stay true to our vision and keep pushing forward. It teaches us that just because someone else doesn't see our vision, it doesn't mean it's not valid. The Beatles' journey is a powerful example of how perseverance and self-belief can lead to extraordinary success. It's about having the courage to be different, to innovate, and to challenge the status quo. The Beatles didn't just follow trends, they set them to stand out from the crowd. Their legacy continues to inspire artists and dreamers around the world, proving that with passion and perseverance, anything is possible. Section 7. Silicon Valley's secret sauce. Embracing the iterative process. Silicon Valley is known for its innovative spirit, its willingness to push boundaries, and its acceptance of failure. In the tech world, failure is not seen as a setback, but as a learning opportunity. It's all part of the iterative process. Startups are encouraged to fail fast and fail often. Why? Because each failure brings them one step closer to success. It's about trying new things, learning from your mistakes, and constantly improving. This approach teaches us that it's okay to not have all the answers. It's okay to experiment and to make mistakes. It's about embracing the journey, not just the destination. Section 8. Fail forward, turning setbacks into stepping stones. So, how can we apply this fail-forward mentality to our own lives? How can we learn to see failure not as something to be feared, but as a tool for growth? It starts with a shift in perspective. Instead of viewing failure as a negative, we need to reframe it as an opportunity to learn, to grow, and to become more resilient. It's about asking ourselves, what can I learn from this experience? How can I use this setback to my advantage? What can I do differently next time? Section 9. Your turn to shine. Embrace the journey, stumbles and all. The next time you're facing a challenge, remember the words of Winston Churchill. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. Don't be afraid to fail. Embrace it. Learn from it. And most importantly, never give up on your dreams. Because the only way to truly fail is to stop trying. Now go out there and shine.